Is America's real estate dream turning into a nightmare? Across the country, towns once booming with newcomers are now facing rising inventory, collapsing demand, and housing costs that make even the American dream feel out of reach. Could your hometown be next? From coastal escapes to heartland suburbs, dozens of U.S. cities are flashing the same warning signs we saw before the 2008 crash, only this time, it might hit harder. Which towns are watching property values vanish and homes sit unsold for months? In this video, we're diving into American towns quietly turning into ghost towns amid the 2025 housing crisis that's reshaping the nation. Boise, Idaho. From Zoomtown to Doomtown. Back in 2020, Boise was the pandemic-era darling for remote workers. Everyone wanted a piece of the action. Fast forward a few years, and that charm has vanished faster than a Zoom call after 5 p.m. By 2023, Moody's Analytics had flagged Boise as one of the worst housing markets in the U.S., pointing to overvaluation of 40% or more. Median home prices soared to nearly 10 times what locals actually earn, earning the city the title of least affordable housing market in America. Developers who snapped up land in 2021 for 100-plus unit apartment projects found themselves pausing or canceling plans in 2024, crushed by soaring interest rates and construction costs. The Reddit crowd summed it up perfectly. "I cannot believe the difference in home cost from 2018 to now. The same house just got listed at $1,055,000 in Nampa. We are so frustrated." Walk through the city today and the change hits you immediately. Luxury condos stand half empty, realtor signs creak in the wind, and open houses draw fewer visitors than expected. Remote worker buyers have ghosted, companies are scaling back flex time, and locals who once dreamed of moving in are priced out. Inventory has jumped roughly 35% year over year, and homes are lingering on the market longer than ever. Boise's Zoomtown glow has dimmed fast, and if you think its bubble popped loud, just wait until you see what's next. Austin, Texas. The tech capital that couldn't keep its tenants. Once bragging about a Tesla in Austin was a status symbol. Now, just finding a roommate feels like an achievement. This city of roughly 980,000 people, home to tacos, traffic jams, and SXSW, is seeing its housing market hit the pause button. Median home prices have fallen from about $590,000 to $445,000, a 25% drop, while inventory has jumped roughly 40%. Yet rents barely move even with 20,000 new apartments hitting the market. Tech layoffs from major players like Bumble, cutting around 30% of local staff, and Intel haven't helped the situation. Keep Austin weird feels more like keep Austin rented these days. Locals joke about LA prices with Texas humidity. The neon skyline still shines, but many luxury towers sit half-lit. Food trucks hum along streets that are quieter than they used to be, mostly serving landlords doing deals rather than hungry residents. Apartment vacancies are climbing, around 10% in some areas, a clear sign that supply has outpaced demand. Austin's tech dream may have glitched, but if you think that's dramatic, wait until you see what's happening in the next city. Reno, Nevada. When the house always wins, except yours. The casino lights used to scream boom. Now they're the only things still blinking in a city where the housing market has hit the brakes hard. Early in 2025, the Reno Sparks area recorded its biggest month-to-month price drop in years, 4.3% in July alone, a tumble no one expected in the biggest little city. Median home prices fell from about $600,000 to $390,000, a staggering 35% drop. Vacancy rates climbed to roughly 12%, rent slid 15%, and unemployment edged up to 5.1%. The tech spillover that once packed new apartments? Gone. Meanwhile, the casino slots kept humming like nothing had changed. Walk through the suburbs and the contrast hits you immediately. Neon lights from the casinos glare over quiet streets. New homes sit dark, and potholes look deep enough to swallow your down payment. Locals joke that the only things moving these days are tumbleweeds. Reno bet big on pandemic-era growth and lost. Houses sit longer, builders hold on to finished units, and the air feels heavy with what went wrong. If you think Reno's real estate roulette is rough, just wait until you see Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona, where Airbnbs outnumber actual neighbors. A few years ago, Phoenix felt like the Wild West of the Airbnb boom, investors rushing in, chasing quick returns. Fast forward to 2025, and that frenzy has faded, leaving a city of empty pools and picked-over houses. In a metro of about 1.6 million people, the market has cooled hard. Vacancy rates are hovering around 14%, the highest in the state. Median home prices have dropped from roughly $480,000 to $375,000, a 22% dive, and rents are down about 9%. The cost of living index sits at 110, while listings linger and buyers hesitate, unsure if the good times will ever return. Airbnb hasn't been spared either. Phoenix now has thousands of active short-term rentals, but occupancy averages just 48% and annual revenue is under $36,000 for many. More supply, fewer locals moving in, and a stretched rental market. It's a recipe for ghostly suburbs. Here you'll see blazing sun over empty driveways, faded pool floats, and food trucks still humming while half the houses sit dark. Locals joke, half the houses are dark, half the owners underwater. Flipping property here feels about as plausible as frying an egg on the sidewalk, only the egg might make you more money. And if you think Phoenix is a dry desert, wait until you see what's happening in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, Utah. From family haven to mortgage mountain. Salt Lake City used to feel like the ultimate family haven. Suburbs full of kids, church bells ringing, and everyone knowing everyone else's genealogy. Fast forward to 2025 and starter homes now start at despair. The post-pandemic migration boom brought outsiders chasing mountain views and good schools, only to realize the dream costs more than they bargained for. Median home prices have slid about 20% to roughly $600,000, rents sit flat around $1,700, and inventory has doubled since 2021. Meanwhile, wages are creeping up only 3%, leaving locals and newcomers alike pinching pennies and reconsidering plans. Step outside and the scene hits you. Snow-dusted suburbs, rows of for sale signs, quiet church bells over empty cul-de-sacs. HOA fees, higher than Utah's peaks. Mormon families are still everywhere, but even the missionaries are whispering about cheaper digs or secretly considering renting a place themselves. Some locals joke that the only thing multiplying faster than the housing prices are family members and church callings. Salt Lake City's mountain air may be crisp, but the housing market is downright frosty. If the peaks are cracking here, wait till you see the next suburbs that froze mid-dream. Cape Coral, Florida. When paradise comes with a premium. In Cape Coral, you might imagine the boats gliding, sunsets glowing, palm trees swaying. Then you step outside and reality hits. The canals reflect empty docks, pastel houses sport for sale signs faded to beige, and insurance bills are bigger than mortgages. Cape Coral, a Gulf Coast city of 200,000, once thrived on retirees and remote workers chasing waterway views, but the boom has quietly unraveled. Median condo prices have plunged about 40%, while insurance costs have shot up 300% since 2020. HOA fees now average around $900 a month, and expanding flood zones after Hurricane Ian have only added to the pressure. Locals joke the sunshine tax has turned into a full-blown sunken cost. One Redditor summed it up. We bought for views, now we pay for anxiety. The streets tell the story. Boats sit idle, docks sway in silence, and the mosquitoes don't bite. They invoice monthly. The scent of saltwater drifts over pastel neighborhoods that feel almost staged, like a vacation town frozen in time. Cape Coral's dream of canals and calm has drifted into a quiet ghost town. And if you think Florida's sinking here, wait until you see the next city drowning in listings. Spokane, Washington, the remote work dream that logged off. You came for peace, space, and an affordable Seattle alternative. What you got? Quiet streets, pine trees, and the hum of regret. Spokane, population sits around 230,000, once thrived on remote workers fleeing the coast. But the dream has logged off. Home prices have dropped about 25% from the 2022 peak, rents are falling for the first time in a decade, and cost of living is up 8%. Homelessness is creeping higher too, up 15%. Locals joke you can buy 2 Spokane houses for the price of a Seattle studio. Winter winds bite harder than your Zillow notifications. Streets echo with emptiness and offices sit deserted. Spokane's remote work glow has dimmed, leaving a quiet, almost ghostly vibe. If Spokane's silence feels eerie, wait until you see Nashville, where the noise comes with a sky-high price. Nashville, Tennessee, when the music stopped. Guitar strings used to hum from every Nashville corner, and neon signs practically wrote country songs themselves. Now the city hums a different tune. Investors bought every pun-worthy property, the lyric, the harmony, the broke investor, and can't unload a single one. Population around 700,000, once thriving on tourism and short-term rentals, now feels like an Airbnb ghost town. Median home prices have slid about 22%, rental vacancies are up 18%, and evictions jumped 20% after the 2024 short-term rental crackdown. Tourists slowed, investors panicked, and locals found themselves priced out while landlords quietly tapped out. One resident told us, "Feels like the encore ended, but no one told the crowd." Rooftops sit empty, honky-tonks echo the same playlists on repeat, and the usual hum of tourists and music fades to a whisper. Nashville's bright lights are still there, but the city's rhythm has slowed, leaving a quiet stage where the crowd once roared. If Nashville's music paused, Vegas might have just forgotten to pay the power bill. Las Vegas, Nevada, suburbia on pause. For years, Las Vegas wasn't just casinos. It was a suburban boomtown, sprawling out into the desert faster than anyone could pave streets. Pandemic migration and low-interest loans fueled feverish construction, and developers dreamed of endless rooftops under the neon glow. Fast forward to 2025, and that dream hit a wall. Half-built homes bake under 110 degrees Fahrenheit skies, waiting for buyers who already ghosted. Median home prices tumbled from $470,000 to $365,000, a 45% drop year over year, while evictions climbed 30%. Water restrictions tighten, wages barely budge, and locals joke, "The only thing multiplying here is tumbleweed." Signs promising "coming soon" outnumber actual residents. Streets shimmer in heat mirages where lawns once stood, and builders sit on unfinished lots hoping the market wakes up. The Vegas suburb dream, once unstoppable, now pauses mid-spin, quiet, baked, and half-empty. If the desert froze mid-dream here, wait until you see the mountain town that lost its soul. Bend, Oregon, the paradise that priced itself out. Bend used to be the dream. Mountains, rivers, craft beer on every corner, and the kind of calm that made city life feel like a bad memory. Then Californians found it, and paradise got a price tag it couldn't sustain. Now even the deer seem to be reconsidering the commute. Population around 100,000, but the vibe is quiet. Median home prices have dropped from $750,000 to $540,000. Rents are down 10%, and the cost of living index sits at 135. Job growth is flat, tourism is softening, and inventory is piling up. Craft beer still runs $9 a pint, but now it comes with a side of regret. Streets are silent, cul-de-sacs echo under mountain air, and for sale signs dot the scenery like awkward trail markers. Bend's overpriced paradise has cooled, leaving a quiet, almost ghostly charm. If Bend's beauty feels lonely, wait until you see towns that went from booming to barren. Akron, Ohio, the tire capital deflated again. Akron was once the heartbeat of Goodyear's empire, tires spinning and factories humming. Now, the city's pulse feels slow. Population under 190,000 and shrinking. You can buy a 3-bedroom here for less than 4 new tires on a Tesla, and locals joke, "We've got more flat homes than flat tires." Median home prices sit around $118,000, rent averages $850, and vacancy rates hover near 25%. Streets are so pockmarked, even GPS seems to sigh in frustration. The old factories still stand, ivy crawling up brick walls, sharing space with forlorn "for sale" signs, like relics of a boom that forgot to last. Walking or driving through Akron feels like stepping into a time capsule where ambition went on pause. Roads rattle under your wheels, the hum of industry has gone quiet, and empty lots dot neighborhoods that once thrived on tires and trade. Akron's lost air, but if you think that's bad, wait until you see the city that's been underwater for years. Flint, Michigan, the city that can't catch a break. Flint's reputation precedes it. Once the heartbeat of GM, now a city where entire houses cost less than a year of bottled water. Population sits around 78,000, but many blocks feel abandoned, as if someone pressed pause on life and forgot to hit play. Median home prices hover at $39,000, rent averages $720, and crime clocks in at roughly 3 times the national average. People used to joke, "Flint feels like Sim City on hard mode." Every road seems designed to test your suspension. Every pothole a reminder that infrastructure here is more challenge than convenience. Drive through and you'll see ghost gas stations, spray-painted dreams on empty walls, and churches renting rooms to make ends meet. Flint wears its struggles visibly, a city frozen in slow decay. And if you think Flint's fading, wait until you see where the factories became fossils. Youngstown, Ohio, the city of empty apartments. Youngstown once thrived on steel, but now it feels like the furnaces cooled and forgot to restart. Population hovers around 58,000, half of what it was in the 1960s, and many apartments sit empty, like a buy a loft, get 3 ghosts free special. Median home prices are around $92,000, rent averages $720, and vacancy rates hit 30%. Unemployment remains stubbornly high. Locals joke the mall has more pigeons than shoppers, and hope seems perpetually under construction. Sidewalks crumble, streetlights flicker, and you can almost hear the echoes of jukeboxes that stopped playing decades ago. Businesses shuttered, families moved on, and the old steel skeletons of factories stand as monuments to ambition gone cold. Youngstown wears its decline openly, a cautionary tale for anyone chasing industrial-era dreams. If that feels post-apocalyptic, wait until you drive 3 miles west and meet the town where industry truly became a memory. Gary, Indiana, the abandonment capital of America. Gary once echoed with the clang of steel and the tunes of the Jackson 5. Now it's mostly echoes and empty streets. About half the homes sit abandoned, as if the city decided to downsize on its own. Median home prices linger around $58,000, population has dropped 24%, vacancy hits 35%, and crime stays stubbornly high. Locals joke even raccoons have tenancy rights, and tourists now visit just to see what decay looks like in high definition. Sidewalks crumble, streetlights wink out, and the wind speaks louder than anyone else. Steel mills stand silent, and old stadiums, once full of cheers, now loom over empty lots like monuments to better days. Gary's decline is almost a spectacle, a city where abandonment became the main attraction. But if Gary's streets feel like a ghost movie, wait till you see the next town, haunted not by history but by its own stadium. St. Louis, Missouri, the city that shrinks every season. St. Louis still boasts the iconic arch, but around it, neighborhoods are quietly folding in on themselves. Population dropped 6% in just 5 years, and some streets feel more like movie sets than places people actually live. Median home prices hover around $174,000, rent averages $1,100, crime clocks in at triple the national average, and roughly 18% of homes sit empty. Locals joke that every time a house goes dark, a pigeon claims new real estate. Potholes here aren't just potholes, they're miniature basements. Tree-lined streets look cheerful from a distance until you notice half the mailboxes haven't seen a letter in months. Businesses close quietly, streetlights flicker, and the hum of the city feels more like a sigh than a buzz. St. Louis is proof that even the proudest cities can hollow out quietly. If its emptiness feels eerie, wait until we slide south, where the heat didn't protect the homes either. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the saltwater hangover. Myrtle Beach used to sparkle with summer crowds and endless buffets, but now even the seagulls look confused. Population sits around 38,000, but during off-season, the streets echo like a forgotten carnival. Luxury ocean view condos can now go for the price of a used jet ski. Median home prices are around $265,000, rents hover at $1,400, and vacancies have jumped 20%. Hurricane insurance bills soared 40% year over year, making paradise feel more like a seasonal headache. Locals joke that the seagulls hold more beachfront property than anyone else. Neon signs flicker above shuttered seafood spots, wind whistles across empty balconies, and the hum of tourists has been replaced by the groan of rising costs. If the beaches feel empty here, wait until you see the next coastal town, where paradise now costs more than sanity. Honolulu, Hawaii, the paradise exodus. Honolulu sparkles in the sunlight, but the shine hides a slow drift toward emptiness. Median homes hit $1.1 million, while the median income hovers near $60,000. Even the ocean can't smooth that math. Population sits around 345,000, but each year a few more locals quietly leave, chasing affordable living elsewhere. Rents at $2,200 and groceries nearly 60% above the mainland's squeeze wallets, turning daily life into a balancing act. Tourism dips didn't help, leaving condos half empty and streets quieter than before. Locals can't afford Aloha anymore, one Redditor noted, and the sentiment shows in neighborhoods slowly losing their rhythm. Even pineapples seem pricey if they had mortgages. Picture sunsets reflecting off shuttered condos and swaying for lease signs, a gentle reminder that paradise is slowly hollowing out. Honolulu proves that even islands can empty when costs outweigh opportunity. And if Hawaii's heart is fading, wait until you see the next coastal town, where rising water meets shrinking wallets. Miami, Florida, the sinking million-dollar city, where your mortgage might drown before you do. That joke hits different in Miami today. The city still shines with its pastel towers and beach vibes, but behind the postcards, homes are quietly emptying. Median prices are $585,000, insurance is up 70%, and flood zones keep creeping closer. Around 440,000 people live here, but vacant condos and half-lit towers make it feel like a city slowly fading. Even the streets tell the story. Cars inch through waterlogged roads while locals shrug and joke, "We're not underwater yet, just financially." Traffic, humidity, and sky-high insurance make the everyday grind feel heavier. The sun still blazes, but the neighborhoods are quieter, and some high-rises seem almost forgotten. With 15% of homes sitting empty, Miami is slowly drifting toward a ghost town vibe. And if Miami feels like it's quietly disappearing, wait until you see the city where gravity seems to have given up entirely on real estate. San Francisco, California, the tech ghost tower. Earlier in 2025, big tech trembled as over 10,000 workers were laid off across the Bay Area, with San Francisco's offices absorbing the brunt. Startups that once promised the world suddenly shuttered, leaving skyscrapers looking less like innovation hubs and more like concrete skeletons. This surge of layoffs hit a city already bleeding demand for tech workers. High salaries that once drove rent and home prices are vanishing. Median home sits around $1.2 million. Office vacancy has soared to 36%, and rents dropped roughly 10% year over year. Locals joke, "You can afford housing if you don't need food, electricity, or friends." But the line lands because empty co-working spaces and for lease signs aren't funny. They're everywhere. San Francisco now hums with echoes rather than energy. The city that scaled the cloud has seen its workforce literally evaporate. And if the tech capital's skyline looks abandoned, wait till you see the hipster haven that followed it straight down the drain. Portland, Oregon. From hip to hollow, Portland once drew young creatives like bees to kombucha, but now even the retirees are packing up. The city that thrived on coffee, bikes, and murals is slowly turning into quiet streets and empty storefronts. Population has dipped about 3%, and downtown looks like a 2020 flashback with 30% plus vacant commercial spaces. Median homes hover around $515,000. Rents about $1,750, and the energy that made the city buzz has waned. Locals joke, "It's weird again," just not in the fun way. The rain hasn't stopped, but morale now costs extra. Sidewalk cafes that once hummed with conversation sit silent, and murals peel like forgotten stickers on a water-stained wall. Portland's transition from vibrant to hollow is subtle but steady. A reminder that even culturally rich towns aren't immune to fading demand and creeping vacancies. If Portland's cool factor is slipping, wait until we hit the Sunbelt, where heat and hope are both running out. Des Moines, Iowa, the empty suburb experiment. A 4-bedroom house in Des Moines now costs less than a brand new John Deere, and that's before you factor in the property taxes. The city once attracted young professionals chasing affordable suburban life, but now townhomes sit unsold, and streets feel quieter than a library after finals week. Locals joke, "Farmers have more barns than we have buyers." Cul-de-sacs stretch endlessly, lawns manicured but empty, and tumbleweeds seem to have claimed the driveways. Des Moines is turning into a slow-motion ghost suburb. Proof that affordable doesn't always equal desirable. And if Iowa's ghost suburbs feel empty, wait till you see where even the cows can't find company. Wichita, Kansas, the city that built too much. Apartments here now outnumber people under 30. And no, that's not a marketing pitch, it's a warning. Wichita, population 395,000, the aviation hub of the Midwest, felt the slowdown in manufacturing like a plane running out of fuel. Builders kept stacking condos and townhomes, assuming demand would follow. Local Facebook user wrote, "Affordable? Sure, if you like living inside a PowerPoint slide streets, echo with wind instead of laughter, and cranes sit frozen mid-project like monuments to optimism that never arrived. Half-built complexes rise beside endless plains, a reminder that even affordable housing can feel hollow without buyers. Wichita is slowly fading into a ghost city of potential and silence. And if this half-finished skyline feels eerie, wait till you see the next town, where even hope seems downsized. Omaha, Nebraska, the corporate chill zone. Houses here are still priced like it's 2021, but paychecks didn't get the memo. Omaha was supposed to be the safe, steady mix of corporate offices and suburban calm, but now even Buffett might pause before buying a fixer-upper. Young professionals moved in for stability. Now many are moving out as tech slowdowns hit local employers. Vacancy rates creep higher, coffee shops sit quiet at noon, and suburban lawns look perfect, but uninhabited. Locals joke, feels like we all got the same memo, don't buy yet, while listings linger longer than usual. The city hums with routine, but behind the neat streets you see the cracks, quiet neighborhoods, dormant construction sites, and half-lit office buildings. And if Omaha's slowdown feels cold, wait till we step into the frozen heart of it all. Minneapolis, Minnesota, the frozen condo market. Downtown studios now sell for less than a used snowblower. Even Prince would have trouble finding inspiration in these empty lofts. Post-pandemic, the city's heart cooled as residents traded skyline views for cheaper, quieter suburbs. Condo prices slid 20%, rents dipped 8%, and office buildings sit 34% empty. Locals joke, downtown's so quiet, the Mississippi hums louder than anyone. Winter lasts half the year, construction fills the other half, and the streets echo with silence. Picture frozen sidewalks, empty skyways, and riverview condos nobody calls home. Coffee shops serve more ghosts than lattes, and even the local squirrels seem to be holding open houses. If Minneapolis is slowly turning into a snow-covered ghost town, wait till you see the Midwest city where even optimism has gone bankrupt. Cleveland, Ohio, the house-flipping hangover. Cleveland once rode the house-flipping wave like a caffeine-fueled investor, snapping up old Victorians, renovating, and expecting buyers to pour in. Now, homes go for less than a year of Starbucks runs, and the buyers are nowhere to be found. Median home $95,000, prices down 25%, vacancies 22%, crime hovering 60% above the national average. Numbers that tell a story of a city caught between ambition and reality. Everyone bought, sold, and vanished, says a local realtor, gesturing at streets where optimism was traded like stock. Roads crumble beneath empty for sale signs, and Airbnbs gleam in renovated glory while sitting empty. The city hums quietly, a reminder that flipping houses can't fix deeper economic cracks. If Cleveland's house-flipping hangover feels heavy, wait till we move to the next stretch, where even the American dream seems to have run out of gas. Detroit, Michigan, the American dream's afterlife. Detroit, once the car capital of the world, now feels like an open-air museum of ambition and ashes. Its population has dropped from 1.8 million to around 620,000, and the decline continues, leaving entire neighborhoods eerily quiet. Median homes sit at $68,000, with high vacancy at 23%. A local says, buying a house here feels like taking on a legacy you didn't ask for. Roads crumble. Old factories sit silent, and murals on brick walls tell stories of better days. Drive down Woodward Avenue and the echoes of the city's past linger, soft but unmistakable. If Detroit's fading charm feels haunting, wait until you see the next city, where rebuilding is a battle with both time and nature. New Orleans, Louisiana, the city that refuses to stay dry. In this city, flood insurance now costs more than rent, a reality that hits harder than a brass band on Bourbon Street. New Orleans still pulses with jazz, culture, and stubborn pride, but its population, hovering around 370,000, hasn't recovered since Katrina. Home prices have dropped 15%, insurance has shot up 280%, and rent barely budges. We rebuild, then wait for the next storm, said a local bartender, shaking his head. Mosquitoes don't bite, they bill you for the inconvenience. Imagine faded Creole cottages, the faint echo of brass in empty bars, and water stains marking each hurricane like the city's own growth rings. If New Orleans lives in these cycles of loss, wait until you reach the city where time itself seems to have pressed pause. Baltimore, Maryland, the city that history forgot. Some row houses now cost less than a weekend in DC, a bargain that comes with plenty of quirks. Baltimore carries a rich colonial past, but many blocks feel like they're frozen in the 1970s. Populations have slipped to around 569,000, and vacancy hovers at 17%. Crime clocks in at 150% above the national average, while median rent sits near $1,300. Beautiful bones, bad plumbing, joked a Reddit homeowner, summing up the mix of charm and challenge. You dodge more boarded-up windows than pigeons on the way to a corner store. Picture narrow brick streets where shadows outnumber pedestrians, murals honoring names few remember, and the faint echo of streetcars long gone. Baltimore's history is alive but hollow, like a museum without visitors. And if this city feels like history on pause, wait until you hit the next place where winter pressed rewind on time. Buffalo, New York, the Great Freeze and Fade. Buffalo had a brief renaissance when climate migrants arrived chasing affordable homes, only to realize that living here means negotiating with winter every single day. Populations dip again, home prices down 18%, and vacancies hover at 16%. Median income clocks in around $46,000, but heating bills soar 40% higher than anywhere else you'd rather be. Everyone came for cheap homes, then realized they had to shovel them, one blogger wrote. Snowbanks loom taller than your mortgage balance, and the wind off Lake Erie doesn't whisper. It shouts. Picture porches buried under snow, Christmas lights stubbornly blinking through March, and streets so quiet that even the squirrels sound lonely. Buffalo's charm freezes fast, leaving streets empty and spirits tested. And if Buffalo feels like it's paused under ice, wait till you reach the final stop, where California's sunshine couldn't save a soul. San Bernardino, California, the modern ghost metropolis. A 5-bedroom house for about $250,000, and the only noise you hear is the wind arguing with the palm trees. Once a bustling logistics hub between LA and Las Vegas, San Bernardino now feels like a city where malls go to nap and dreams go missing. Back in the day, it was all steel and freight lines, jobs stacking up like Tetris blocks, and futures looking solid. Fast forward to today, home prices are down roughly 30%. Vacancy hovers around 18%, median income barely scratches $48,000, and foreclosures are up 70%. One resident summed it up perfectly. Feels like we're living in a deleted scene from a 90s movie. Even the downtown mall that closed in 2017 got the ceremonial demolition hammer in 2023. Goodbye retail heart, hello open lot. With sales down a third and fewer jobs to chase, it's like the housing market took a long coffee break and never came back. Palm trees lean like overdue tenants, billboards promise new developments that never arrived, and the freeway hum keeps its lonely rhythm. San Bernardino isn't just a housing crash, it's America's cautionary tale, a dream built too high, stretched too far, and quietly melting into the dust. Ghost cities don't show up all at once. They sneak in, one family leaving, one foreclosure, one empty storefront at a time. The housing crisis isn't just numbers on a screen. It's about neighborhoods stretched too thin, dreams built too high, and towns wobbling when the foundations give way. From the rusted factories of the Midwest to the sun-baked streets of California, these towns are a quiet warning. Growth without planning comes at a cost. So, which one surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments, and let's hope the next boom doesn't leave us wandering down the same empty streets and silent homes.